Mm, I do believe we're live. So I'll say indeed. And greetings unto you, beloved and holy friend. Thank you for joining me once again on another day, another live stream, another moment for us to connect and expose our souls to something. Joe Schmo, Shannon and Nana and Joy Vive here already. So sick of seeing you friends here. Thank you for joining me. What do we expose our souls to? All right, today's stream topic came from yeah, I know, morning yeah like this. Uh, Sounds like they're losing their minds. Seems like we're gonna have some cows in stream today. I'm sorry to be exposing your souls to the screams of cows. I don't even know if they're screaming. They don't sound very happy. I'm not very happy with the sounds either. So, if we communicate to make others feel the way that we do, I'm thinking about it, yeah, they're doing their jobs. I feel so gemoed right now. You know what? I think I'm just going to pretend like it's not happening. They sound hungry. They're just probably having like census taken, like getting themselves documented or something. The way of transformation is the way of assuming responsibility for time. For time is not a prison for you, it is that which flows out of your very consciousness. And there is never a place or a time which is more conducive to the way of transformation than the place in which you are and the time that is now. Right? I guess that is what I'm supposed to be learning from today's stream topic as well. That I'm supposed to be transforming this energy that I'm receiving is coming into my soul and making it something beneficial, right? Because the place is here. Here is the place where transformation will happen. Not here in the stream, not here with me, but here in the moment that we always share, right? And then the now, like now, this time, there is no other here than where we are. So, I'm seeing Sam asking something about. Is this another Bible topic? No. This topic, I don't know. Maybe it's a Bible topic. I wouldn't put it past the Bible to have this topic. Right, meow. Hey, you. Thank you, Kyle, for joining us too. So today's stream topic happened because there's like strikes and stuff happening in South Africa right now, and they like block roads and they burn tires and they throw massive boulders on the roads and stuff. And my dad is on these groups with a bunch of other dudes his age, right? People in their 50s and their 60s. And for some reason, they really enjoy perpetuating this information cycle of look at how horrible things are, right? And I could hear, I didn't even see it, but I could hear my dad watching this video where I just hear like manic screaming and I'm hearing cars. And just from like listening to what he was watching, I could form this picture of people in distress, people trying to stop other people from passing, people pushing through other people. And like it's just this manic screaming of people, right? And without even looking at what he was looking at, I tell my dad, Dad, what you look at affects your soul. And he tells me, No, it doesn't. It's funny to me, he says to me. And I say nothing after that. I just made the statement that what you look at affects your soul. And then I left. And it's been echoing in my mind since yesterday because it really is something that I believe in. Right? These cows are affecting my soul right now, in so many ways. And yet I don't know why. Right? I don't. Maybe it's because I don't understand what they're saying. Maybe it's because I want to help them and I know I wouldn't be able to. I want to have them be quiet as well. Maybe it's the powerlessness that is affecting my soul in this moment. And I feel like it's the same thing with my dad watching these pieces of content that disturbs him, right? Watching people in a state of suffering, watching people in a state of outrage, watching people in a state of, like manic people, right? A person is intelligent. People are panicky animals, that Men in Black line. And kind of exposing yourself to stuff like that just perpetuates this feeling of powerlessness, right? And that was like the thing, one of the other kind of like personal topics that I was exploring today for myself is how we almost like take some sort of pride in considering ourselves powerless, right? Like there is some sort of benefit in considering yourself powerless. And that mindset or idea came from this conversation my dad was having with my sister. There's like new studies out that kind of like touch on the benefits of intermittent fasting, like 17 to 19-hour intermittent fasting. We have now proven benefits that it you don't have to like go for like extended periods of time not eating anything at all for fasting to just get the autophagizing, benefits of fasting. So autophagy is basically when your body eats dead cells, senescent cells included. So that's good for you, right? And we know this, but a lot of people thought they had to like fast for 5 days straight before that autophagy actually starts happening, which is not the case. And I'm sharing the details of the study with my dad, kind of like touching on this fractal of health, of longevity, if you will. And I leave the kitchen and I come back and I think my dad continued the conversation with my sister. But what I walk in on is him saying, "Well, God is gonna decide when I die." And I stop in my tracks. I'm like, "Err." I'm like, "Excuse me." I actually said, "Excuse me." I'm like, "Excuse? What the fuck is it?" What did you say, Dad? And he's like, God will decide when I die. And I'm like, nah, nah, it doesn't. You decide when you die. At least, from a practical perspective, when it comes to the choices that you make. I'm like, okay, Dad, so if you start smoking meth today, and that's like your pastime to smoke meth all day, every day, and you die in 2 years, is it going to be God's fault that he killed you earlier than you would have died? Or is it going to be your fault for making these decisions and not living your life in a healthy way? And it kind of like started this conversation of, you know, responsibility. And again, I was like, Dad, God will let you experience anything, including killing yourself, with bad health choices. God will let you experience that as well. But it's not going to be his fault or her fault or its fault when you die in that time frame. It's going to be yours because you decided, you chose to live the life that you wanted to live. And then you're going to get to live that life until that life is done, right? You're going to get to expose your soul to that idea until your soul is fully exposed, right? Like a snapshot, like a photo, like your life has been lived. And I wrote in my journal, right? Again, that the sense of powerlessness that I see in so many people. See in my dad, right? My dad just refuses to take care of himself. He knows, he's told me himself that he knows he's supposed to exercise, but he just can't get himself to do it, he says to me. I'm like, yeah. All right. I guess then don't exercise if you can't get yourself to do it, right? I'm not gonna force you, but if you do it, you're gonna get to live longer. And then I can see, right? He's like, oh, actually, God decides when I die. So whatever I do with my life, it's not gonna be my fault when I die because God will decide for me. And it pisses me off. Makes me so angry. I'm like, what do you mean? Oh, what do you, what do you mean? Good morning to you, Joshua. It's nice having you, friend. Thank you. Sam saying a man is not defined by what goes into his mouth, but by what comes out of it. Mm. I agree in part. In part, I agree, right? But only in part, Sam, because I feel it is like a interfacing, right? There is a give and a take that happens there, both to the stuff that goes inside and outside. The Bible topic. Hey, Jovan, got my hands in some pain today. Lurky working and loving you too. Thank you, Jimmy. Present, Mickey here. Yeah, good morning. But the duck dad, it's nice having you here as well. Sending you love. Joe was painting other monsters in chat. Right, meow. Love to you too, Kyle. It's nice seeing you in chat, brother bear. Can I be a purple monster? You can be whatever you want to be. Don't let anybody limit you. Want to be a purple monster? I did. I did. I have the rest. I have the other 8 drops in my water bottle, but I've already taken the other 8 drops, so I'm remedying. My foot is hurting again. Yeah, I know, cows. I'm also going. But I'm still doing the things. Yeah, I'm not stopping. I'm not stopping. I really don't know what it is. I really don't know what it is. The fact that it comes and goes, I feel is the part that concerns me the most. I would be so happy if I was just in a state of like pain and I was like, okay, this is my reality now. Then I can maybe like go to a doctor and be like, oh, I'm feeling pain like this now. But the joke is that I might create like an appointment with a doctor because of a pain. And then by the time my appointment comes around to go to the doctor for the pain would have subsided and disappeared even. Like, bruh, come on. Love you. Yummy. Okay. One-eyed, one-horned, purple. I mean, the purple ones do have a reputation for easing people. This is true. You do become what you eat, right? So maybe that's the plan. I'm gonna become the most personest person ever. Was thinking the same thing. Love is true. Brother Joel's here too. Susanna sending you some lovins. Love with Zana here too. Griffin. Technically the truth, but still distressing to hear so candidly. I'm missing context, unfortunately, Sam. I'm guessing I said something, but technically the truth, but still distressing to hear so candidly. The God decides when we die. So, and I wrote this in my journal as well, right? Like a caveat. I was like, if we assume, decide that God is everything, then yes, God decides, right? And I preface specifically, including the person dying, right? Then yes, I can agree that God decides when you die. But then you have to also at the same time understand that you are God in this perspective and you are deciding when you die, right? The responsibility isn't outside of you to like some entity in the sky, somewhere there, somewhere far away, right? There's no somewhere there out there deciding, okay, I think Melt, he's talked enough nonsense. Kills him. Kill me if I'm supposed to die. Yes, but not what I thought. I was only scared for a split second there. Just instant dies on stream. Oh, oh. No, no, because that's not how it works. God wants you to live, right? That's why you're living. God doesn't want you to die. And if you, as God, figure out how to develop the technology to live longer, God is going to support you in that as well, right? Because as God, you wanted to live longer, and then as God, you get to live longer if you choose to do the right things. Yeah. So I do agree in part, Sam. Technically the truth, but not like the separation. The separation is where I draw the line. I'm like, yes, I can agree with this as long as there's no separation, right? What do you mean there's no separation? In other words, you're the God that's killing yourself when you die. It's like, yeah, okay. Let's continue. Raiden, again, love to you, Fred. It's nice having you. I fasted all weekend, and it is still happening for the most part. I dropped 3 kilos in 4 days. I don't feel bad at all, and I'm not weaker, nor am I doing it in an unsafe way. I'm proud of you, Joshmo. It's good for you, right? Like we know this statistically. This is the truth. Take care of yourself. I know you do. Melt, I love how you never give up on your dad. I never will, Loazana. I'll be dead. I'll be like dead 3 times over. I'll be dead, brought back to life. Dead again, brought back to life again. Dead a third time, brought back to life. And I'll still be like, yeah, love is true. Melt, an opinion from a different perspective. is if he is watching videos of current troubles in your country, he may be acting as a protector, learning about potential threats to his family. Sure, Joel, but right, as soon as I said to him, these things affect your soul, he stopped instantaneously, right? Like he didn't fight. He was like, "Oh, no it doesn't. It's funny to me." He said that because it was like the best response he could come up with. It's not funny, right? Watching people literally, push each other to the ground, run over each other, burning tires, like running in the streets. That doesn't make you feel good, right? It makes you feel powerless. It makes you feel in a state of like, oh goodness, what's happening, right? And that is a fractal. It is like a small little fractal of the totality of what is actually happening. The totality of what is actually happening is love, like so overwhelmingly that you would literally have to go looking to find something other than love. And everywhere, right, where he could look, he chooses to look at something that doesn't inspire love in his heart. And when I said it to him, he retorted with, "Oh, it's funny," and then he stopped, right, completely. And that to me, if anything, kind of like communicates him knowing that what I'm saying is a truth, right? Like, don't do that to yourself. Like, it's the same thing with the news, right? Sure, Joel, we can say, "Oh, I'm watching the news so that I can be current with the troubles in the country, and I'm acting as a protector, learning about potential threats to my family." But the news benefits on you being scared and coming back to watch the news again over and over and over again, right? That is what they're doing. They want to do that. That's like their incentive, for you to be scared, for you to come back, for you to believe that the world is falling apart. The world has been falling apart since we've had civilizations. There have been people in the streets talking about how the world is ending soon, right? For as long as we've had a world. Well, yeah, here we are, living. God hasn't decided to kill us just yet, and He's not going to, because you, as God, clearly want to live. You don't? Stop breathing. You stop breathing right now. Nope, God still seems to want to live. He's not done living just yet. Okay, let me get back to it. It amazes me how much extra weight we carry around, Lois. They have a beautiful bond. It makes me smile every time they get frustrated. I'm just unwilling to stand for, in my mind, nonsense. Right? It's nonsense to me to be like, oh yeah, oh yeah, it's not my responsibility. I'm just at the whims of infinity, I guess. Joe Moses, sending you lovin's as well, friends. Nice having you here. Mm-mm-mm-mm-mm-mm. You ever think about what reality would be like if God was proven and visibly something like an omnipotent capybara? Do you think it would be dismissed, or do people hop capybara on board capybaraanity? Capybaraanity. Mm. I would totally hop on capybaraanity, right? Because the capybaras already seem like Zen masters. So I wouldn't be surprised. I'd be like, God's a capybara? Of course. Of course, God's capybara. Like, capybaras literally chill with crocodiles. Why wouldn't they be gods of their own little world? But unfortunately, Brother Duck Dad, I don't know how we would definitively prove that this capybara is God, but people will still choose to believe other things as well, right? Because I've realized that belief and believing in something isn't actually there to believe in something, right? Like, the believing in something is like a prerequisite for the thing they want. And the thing they want is to be right, is to know something, is to have a certain sense of comfort, a certain sense of certainty that what they know about reality is true, right? And I've noticed this so clearly, especially these days, especially with the conversations I've been having with Ruben, I've been having with my family, I've been having with people, at that little birthday party I went to recently, is they just want to be right about something. They want this certain sense of, I know something, right? And that's something they know is a process for them being saved, right? They have to believe a certain set of somethings, and then believing that certain set of somethings, they get to be saved. And that's very comfortable to a lot of people to have that certainty, right? But that certainty is a story you're telling yourself, right? I mean, you can tell yourself the same story about the capybaranity, right? If you believe in the capybara, then you'll be saved. Oh, wow, that easy? I believe in capybara and then I'm saved? Oh, that sounds simple enough. I can do that. Let's get it. Brain damage ourselves into believing something. Is that a cable? Sending you love. Nice having you. They're super far from the protesters in the city, Joel. Yeah, like hundreds of kilometers. And we're hundreds of kilometers away from the closest town, and our town has like zero striking happening right now. There's no striking happening on our actual roads. It's like, and it's the striking is also happening as like a political movement, right? There's like a whole thing that's happening right now, and we know about it. It's being documented on YouTube as well. Like I'm not unaware of these things, but I'm not going to expose myself to the outrage that it generates because I'm gonna have to feel it, right? It's not me not wanting to learn or not wanting to have the full perspective, but realizing that these things affect my soul, and I want to have my soul affected by the things that are good. As an ant is biting my foot. Stop doing that, dude. Stop it. Stop it. Stop doing it. I was like brushing him away and he came back and I'm like, bruh, please save yourself. Remedy today, Capybara Hannity. Sounds like a heck of a religion, right? I agree. I love Clappy Bappies. True, if I would convert. I'll write the books. Yeah, sounds like a plan. We have a whole cult here in the US that worships a freaking groundhog. Yeah, that's true. Capybarism would not by far be the weirdest thing here. Oh, exactly. Big guinea pigs manipulate. One great guinea pig. Oh, the great guinea pig, I praises you. A great big guinea pig, please hear my prayer. In guinea pig we proclaim amen. Joe, how dare you besmirch the capybara by comparing it to a common guinea pig? Yeah, how dare you? Capybaras. I think they have different feetsies. Hey, Google. Is this weird to Google? Hmm. I wanted to Google, hey Google, show me capybara feet. Show me cafe by Rafi. Maybe this is a sign from the universe that I'm not supposed to be searching for capybara. I I don't know why, but I think they have different feces than guinea pigs do. So I don't think they're completely, a one to one. I'm ready to convert. Duck that. How dare you, guinea pigs? Comment. In stone, cold, sober, by the way. No idea where my brain is capybara. So fuzzy. Oh, yes, Joe, because it's majestic and whimsical as a cabbie. Can't wait until Mel gets to these comments and says, Duck Dad, I love you, but my brain is broken right now. My brain feels kind of okay with this. I feel like my soul is being influenced and being affected, but I like it. I'm like, yeah, yeah, reality where the capybara, right? Like all of us are like collectively waiting for a messiah, and we expect it to be a human being. Meanwhile, the messiah has been a capybara this whole time, and we just haven't been listening. Toasty saying, I imagine a man pushing a boulder down a long hill, watching it tumble down, creating a path of destruction, and then it stops at the bottom, giving it a bow with a ta-da. See, God controls what happens. Yeah, exactly. It's like, look, look, yeah. God set in motion all of the rules of gravity and, the reality of momentum being conserved and weight destroying, everything in its path. You must have been God. Surely I had no action. It was like, wait a second, weren't you the one that pushed the boulder down? Yeah, but God told me to do. Toasty, the tada makes it. No, it's all the size not mattering. Love is true. So much love is being sent. Melting potatoes jokes already. Yeah, meat. It seems that way. Audible left. I chose all of you to express and revel with, and we love it, Kevo. We love you, dude. Hmm. Is that a melt? Yes, that is. Oh yeah. Kevo, so much love, friend. How was the final poem? And chill. I'm thinking about something that one of our friends were doing, but now I'm spacing. I was thinking about it last night, as I'm trying to sleep. Like my brain does that. Like when I try to sleep, I start sending you friends messages, and then I think about sending you an actual message, and then I'm like, if I have to send you an actual message, I'm gonna have to unlock my phone and expose myself to blue light, and it's gonna mess up my want to go to sleep right now. And I'm like, yeah, I'll just send you mental messages, Lovins wirelessly, completely wirelessly. So wireless, there's actually no wires, no wires whatsoever. Final poem. How you doing today, Mel? I'm doing well, dude. I'm feeling pretty chill. I'm feeling pretty calm. I feel like I've been exposing my soul to things that make me feel hopeful, make me feel light, make me feel a sense of pride. This is a weird transition, but I've been watching episodes of Kimmy the Unbreakable, I think it is. And there's this scene where a dude who's like a construction worker catcalls this Kimmy lady. And like she's so oblivious to what being getting catcalled is that she like walks up to the dude and she like starts a conversation with him. And here he's like, fine, 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 I get it, stop, please, mercy. And then this dude turns out to be gay, this construction worker. And, he basically mildly comes out to her, telling her that he catcalls women because he's jealous that they get to be with men and he doesn't, or something like that. And I'm like, yeah, this dude is fucking woke. And then he kind of like gets into a relationship. And the amount of giddy joy that I have in my heart seeing this person, and it's a fictional person, right? Seeing this person go from being hidden, right? Powerless to be themselves, and then becoming a version of themselves that they can be proud of, a version of themselves that they can just stop pretending to be, right? Yesterday's topic. They don't have to pretend anymore. I was like, yeah, this makes my heart happy, yo. And feeling this fractal of watching it as my dad as well. And I do this. I watch pieces of content from multiple frames of reference. And my dad is very much anti-gay, right? Unfortunately, because he believes in the sanctuary of man and a woman. God created Adam and Eve, not Adam and Steve. There's some of the things he said to me, and I've like kind of like leaned into joking with him, telling him I've considered or thought myself to be gay for a while, specifically because I get along, with men better than I do with women. I've told him specifically as well, to trip him out even more, that I would have enjoyed being gay. Right? I think it would have made my life easier because I wouldn't have had to struggle as much to find people that I can really connect with. And I'm saying this kind of like liberally. I don't think I'm gay. I really don't. I consider myself pretty straight. I am viscerally attracted to the female shape. I feel like I'm masking right now. I really am not, right? And yet there is like a connection, like a soul connection that I've had with so many of you friends. A deep sense of not having to pretend, right? For some reason, when I'm around women, like especially if I'm attracted to them, it creates this, I don't know if it's fear, maybe resistance. I think maybe resistance is the right word to be something, right? Like even the way I move, I become self-conscious of. I'm like, oh shit, how does one move attractively? Right? Because then my priorities are shifting because now I'm not just trying to get along with a person, but now I want this person live again by a female. Yeah. Being a human being seems to be weird. Sexuality is something that we can become very attached to. And specifically this pretending on yesterday's stream, having to pretend to be something not feeling comfortable enough to be ourselves. And in the little written piece that I added underneath the flower, I kind of like touched on that fractal as well of sometimes we have to hide, in order to feel safe, in order to be undiscovered. But unfortunately, we can become identified with that version of us that needs to hide. This conversation is taking me to weird places. It's taking me to the place of being an observer, like watching as you, watching myself right now with what I just said, and being like, this is affecting my soul. How is this context? How is this conversation affecting this other person's soul? Right? Like the question of why I'm even talking about this right now is coming to my mind. Maybe maybe it's just the realization of I don't have to I don't have to be desirable to be desired, right? I don't have to be desirable to myself to be desired by someone else, right? I think maybe that's the thing that I'm tripping out about. I don't have to be so mindful. I don't have to trip myself out because I don't know if it affects my soul well, right? If I trip myself out like that, being too mindful of what other people see. I feel like weirdly enough, it is one of my blessings, this ability to transpose my consciousness to yours, right? I do it with my dogs as well. I do it with the butterflies and the birds. I do it with the trees, where I try to see from their perspective. And I feel that's the only way that I can have more depth in my understanding. Because when I look at something from only my perspective and try to see it only from this perspective, I feel like my perspective will always be limited. For instance, Yudi, he's staring out in that direction right now. So I can picture myself being him at that level on the ground, seeing through his eyes, right? Having this experience that he's having. And because I get to have both my experience and then that imagined experience, I feel like those two vectors creates a level of understanding I wouldn't be able to have if I only was seeing from my own perspective. So yeah, let yourself be in the shoes of someone else, but don't let it affect your soul negatively, I guess. Right? Try, if you're going to see from someone else's perspective, to see lovingly from their perspective. This is like a lesson that I'm trying to take into myself. Joel, Lois, I'm well, poems and chill was a 5 hour banger with enough improv to make a hip hop rapper blush. Sick it. That is excellent, friend. Sounds amazing. Poems and chill was excellent yesterday, Kevo. I'm happy that you enjoyed it as well. JB, the true religion is being born. I like that. Yeah, and I agree in a way, right? My religion is love, and if you are unsure of whether or not love is true, just ask yourself, do I exist? Do I have awareness of being? If yes, then love. If no, then separation. But it's going to be a little bit hard for you to say no because you would have to exist to have that question asked of you in the first place. So the fact that you exist means love is true, right? So, yes, the religion of just being born. Thanks, Joe. Again, love. We did so many poems, emotional sharing, Reddit eulogies, and just crazy fun. Love is true. Your dad would just die if you started worshipping the holy capybara. Can you imagine the epic battles you about you going to hell? Yeah, he would not be okay with that, right? Because my dad really has this deep-seated hope that I'm going to be this amazing story of conversion, right? Like I'm gonna be this sinner, and then suddenly I'm gonna become I'm gonna find the truth. That's what he likes to say. One day, my son, you will find the truth. He likes to say to me, and I'm like, okay, man. You do realize what I consider truth is love, right? And even in your Bible, it says God is love, all right? And if something isn't love, then I am not going to believe in it. So, this idea of a God existing that claims we are his most treasured creations and that he is creating a place for us in heaven, right? Because he loves us so much. And if we're not trying actively every day to be in his presence, we're going to be sent to hell for eternity, right? Especially if you understand infinity. Like, I'm melting. Just trying to imagine how contrived you have to kind of like reason to yourself to believe something like that. But this belief that a God will damn you for eternity, right? Infinity, because you disobeyed him for the fractionest of the fractionest of the fractionest of the fractionest of times, right? Like your whole life in the scale of God's almighty nature isn't even a second, isn't even a split second, isn't even a picosecond, right? Like, is an indistinguishable amount of time. And now, because you didn't make the exact decisions he wanted you to make in that, like, instance, now, yeah, how about you go and suffer forever? Forever. And there's no way out, ever. And you'll suffer forever. That sounds so far removed from what I consider love that there is no way that I could ever believe something like that. And I keep telling him, I'm like, Dad, dude, dude, please. I'm not going to believe what you believe because it's not love. That's not true love. You got something in the top of your hair? I do. I'm looking at myself for the first time. Oh, I do. Is it out? Here it is. It's a little flower. Look at that. Nice. Thank you, Joy Vive. I appreciate you letting me know. Okay. Your dad would just die. The possibilities are endless, exactly. Also, Joy killed it through her poems. Joy killed it through her poems. Joy V writes poems as well? I haven't even heard a single one. I turn on my blue light filter in the evenings. Mine turns on automatically at 6 p.m. as well, Shan. But unfortunately, uh, when it's like 1 a.m. and I turn my phone on, it still blasts my eyeballs. That's just his hair. But yeah, Melt, pride is definitely something I have for the talks. While they lasted, they were a beautiful and safe, amazing space. Of course, now that they're gone, but we shall carry that energy forward and make new structures which last longer, having learned from this experience. Exactly. The skills won't melt away with the service. Mel, don't tell Papa until we get it a good roadmap for his new beliefs. Then hit him with like 10 or 15 facts about the guinea pig god, and then just watch. Be like, he'll lose his mind. Like he'll be at such a state of shock where he'll be like, no, this is not happening right now. No, there's something white in his hair. You were right, Joy Vive. I remember that scene from The Unbreakable, Kimmy Schmidt. So good, right? Right, yeah. Oh, yeah. Your dad sounds very conservative. He is, Kevo. He is. Like, my dad is a wonderful human being, right? And he tries to be a good human being. But he believes in the old way of being, right? He believes there's no love in a gay relationship because it's against God's will, right? And I've seen gay people love one another in ways that is undeniable, right? Like you cannot deny that these two people have love for one another. You cannot. It is impossible, right? And I believe God's will is love. God is love, right? And God doesn't care who you choose to love. God cares if you love or not, right? And yeah, we differ, I guess. And it's good. It's good that we differ. That God create. Yeah, exactly, exactly. Hey Mel, does your dad believe in paying reparations for generational injustice done throughout history? Very much no. Curious how you even know. So no. Like he wouldn't believe in remotely in that, right? Like unfortunately in the Christian community, and I don't know if my dad believes this as well, but my mom's side of the family very much does, where I was trying to have conversations with them about injustice as well, and global warming. Like also don't, my dad also doesn't believe in global warming. Very few of my Christian family members do for some reason. It's kind of confusing. I don't know if they're correlated, right? Like if because they're Christians they don't believe in global warming or whatever. But yeah, like there is a dissonance in that. And we were talking about global warming, and I was talking about it from the context of it affecting the most disadvantaged people, right? Like that is the thing that's the most painful to me about global warming. Not so much the fact that our Earth is warming, and that it's killing our corals because they can't handle the heat, because it's literally destroying massive ecosystems. That's sad and all, right? And I don't like that. But the human suffering aspect of it is the part that bothers me the most, because the people that have the least access to technology that can free them from the suffering that global warming will bring don't have it, right? The people living on coastal cities, the people living in spaces that are prone to flooding, those housing becoming cheaper, that cheaper housing attracting people that do not have it as well off as other people, and it almost like perpetuating the cycle of suffering, and almost like shifting the suffering onto those who are already suffering, right? And I was like trying to get to this understanding with my family of like, why do you think this is happening, right? Why do you think there are people that are so disadvantaged and are suffering? And then seeing them generate these narratives of like them deserving to suffer like that, right? Talking about how the Bible speaks about if your father's father's father, right, 7 generations, did something sinful, he would curse his entire family, right? God will curse you and your entire family for 7 generations, right? It's not bad enough that you got yourself into a pickle, but now 7 generations down are also gonna get their shit ripped because God said so, right? It's God's will for these people to suffer. And I'm like, hell nah, dude. Oh hell no. I will not believe that, because that's not love, right? That is not love. The suffering we see right now is yo has so many layers. There's more inequality now than there's ever been in the history of humanity. Right? Just think about that. It's not God's will. Sure, it is as God, God doing it to itself, but as God separating from love is the only way that that's possible, right? Like when you're convinced that you're not a part of the unity, when you can hurt people like that, and I will not stand for it. I shall not bereave in separation. We are all just flesh vehicles. Sometimes the comfort of a certain gender is what we need. I'm happy to be a man. I love being a man. Right? It's nice being a man, and I identify as a man, right? Like I don't want to change anything. And I don't see anything wrong with admitting that either. But I also don't label. I don't want others to have the exact same experience as me, right? Like one of my friends, Adrian, he's very much a gay individual. Technically identifies as asexual, but he's asexual leaning towards men, right? Asexual meaning that he's attracted more to the person than he is to the sexuality of said person. At least that's the way I understand it. And he's a beautiful person, right? Like the dude has a depth of being that I don't know he would have if he wasn't different, right? Different to me, different to my upbringing, different to what I consider normal, right? Uh, Men like girls, girls like men. This is normal. He's very much not normal. He's so far from normal. And yet I can love him, right? For the person that he is, for the expression that he brings into the world. And I don't have to judge him. I don't have to have this prerequisite of him believing something differently for me to be able to love him. Hey, Kashif. It's nice having you, friend. Sending you good vibes, dude. Curious how he feels about the original sin. Labels are ridiculous. I feel this. I enjoy the comfort of my kitties. They're both in bed with me right now. I have a puppy knocked out behind me, but hey, Maxine, it's been a while. It's nice seeing you, friend. Sending you lovins all the way from South Africa. Lovins to Maxine right now. They're in bed. You got cat ears headband, huh? No, I'm waiting for my Mecha ones to be installed, Joe. Like she wants actual cat ears. For sure, Mel, masking has kept me alive, but I finally need to start deconstructing, melting those layers. It's difficult and scary, but important. And you got this, Lois. You so got this. I want that now. Brother Griff, Joe, and I need you. Can you make a capybara Jesus with your AI magic? I need this picture framed on the wall. Oh yes, that's very much possible. You want to see what that looks like? Let's do it. We can do it right now. Let's go. Imagine a depiction. This is probably cursed, but we're gonna do it anyway because you friends asked for it. Uh, depiction of Jesus, Jeshua, technically is his real name, right? Jeshua, a depiction of Jesus as a capybara. Cap capybara. Am I spelling it incorrectly? It's with a Y. That's why. Like this is gonna be pretty basic, but we'll do like a basic one first, and then we'll see if it needs a little bit of prompt engineering. The most recent thing that I made was a crocodile in a leather jacket. Look at this dude. Look at this dapper dude. Look at this dapper individual. Look at him. Doesn't he look dapper? He looks kind of sinister, right? Maybe a little bit, but he looks pretty sick to me. Let's see. Here it comes. Oh, here it comes. Oh, here it's coming. 31%. Oh no, it has actually. It's Jesus with capybaras. Three of them is Jesus with capybaras. I think one of them is a capybara Jesus. Yes, it's happening. This is cursed. This is cursed. We shouldn't do this. Oh goodness, yes, I love it. Oh, I love it so much. More. It's almost done. 78%, 93%, and done. You finish? You're finishing? There we go. Oh my goodness. This is actually kind of cool. I really love the first one. The first one is like something I'd like to see even hanged up. Look at this. Look at that. This is the first one. Isn't this insane? Like the fingers are still so mangled, but this is the first one. Jesus with a capybara. And then we have another one where it's him just kind of like chilling. He's so white. Jesus wasn't white, dudes. And then there's another one, also so white. Those hands kind of look handsy, very impressive. And this is the one. You want to see capybara Jesus? He even has the red. Skadoosh. Look at him. There we go. Look at him. Look at him. Oh, yes. Capybarism. Capybaranity. Look at him. Yeah, isn't that the sickest? Yeah. AI tools. Oh, people in the future are probably going to be flying in cars and, have robots take care of all of their chores. Meanwhile, people in the future. What would Jesus look like if he was a capybara? Oh, goodness. Oh, let me get back to it. Sure, mouth masking, Brother Joel. We all need We all need this framed on our walls. Social acceptability is one of our biggest hurdles in the path to finding ourselves. Exactly, Joshua. Lois melting kept me alive and then broke me. It is amazing how complex our background processes are. And some of them go unseen, right? I think that's the craziest part. I want the capybara just framed and hung in the like that actually looks like you could, right? Am I wrong in feeling like this is actually kind of good? Like this is like good. Like I can see someone unironically hang this, in the corner of their room and being like, yes, yeah, capybarianity. Look, isn't that's so good? It looks so good, and that's like un unupscaled, right? Like this gets better. Like I can make it even higher definition. This is so sick. Yes, 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 yes. Man, I love existing in this time frame. Yow! Skip out! Like we're becoming so powerful as human beings, right? The fact that we just made that work of art with our collective minds, some insane stuff. I'll see what I can do. Did you hear it? Yes, Joel. I love your enthusiasm. Love is true, like grandma used to have. The funnier convert the sinners. You, friends, have seen the Passover painting. Can't remember the artist. Melt, if I could say something, forgive me if I overstep. I feel like your last relationship gave you trauma when it comes to dating women. If someone tries to change or teach you into something they want you to be, it can be very damaging when you look for acceptance and love from the opposite sex. I hear you. I do hear you, Susanna, and it's not out of line at all. Uh, I feel exactly what you're saying. Like the closest I've gotten to my last relationship was, that kind of like long distance relationship I was in close to day 60. Some of your friends that have been around for long enough will know about that. And in that relationship, there very much was this manipulation going on, right? Of me not being allowed to do certain things. And I really quickly noticed how that made me feel, and I ended it. So I don't know if I've been traumatized, but I am very guarded. I guess that's the way I could say it. Gay and straight, and twisted and unified, and pretty much any pronoun or adjective you can exactly. Mel, if your dad doesn't believe in reparations, how can you justify original sin? Fun little rabbit hole to explore. Yeah, because we're still paying, right? Technically, on a biblical level, we're still paying for those sins committed in the past. Is the weather stable there? It's hard to deny climate change here. The weather is wild here these days. Oh yeah, the weather is kind of stable here in South Africa. In fact, the weather is better. With the increase in heat globally, we've been receiving more rain than ever, right? So the weather is actually getting better here in South Africa with climate change. But climate change is real, dude. Like the climate is changing. It has changed in my lifetime. It's so clear. You would have to like be have your eyes shut, your ears closed, to not notice it. Want you to be. It can be okay. I think labels can be borders. Done that. Y'all, that you have to love them regardless of who they are and what they say. Really don't know how the crowd can violate the first commandment by spreading hate in his name. Yeah, unfortunately, people like being right, right? And being a straight person, seeing a gay couple happy about how gay they are, can make you feel like, wait a second, those people look happy. And I'm pretty sure they think what they're doing is right. What does that mean about what I think is right? And so they would rather not, think about it. And we'd rather just not. We are fenceless by nature, free to roam and discover that which inspires us. Yes, that which affects our soul, right? Human classification can contain us, exactly. Climate change is real. When I was a kid, we used to have snow in Chicago. Nobody put capybara in the corner. But if someone did hypothetically put capybara in the corner, they'd be chill with it, I suppose. They'd be like, oh, well, I guess I'm a corner capybara right now. But if someone, it's so disruptive. Sorry, all. Struggle of serious is real. It's okay. It's okay, Duck Dad. We love you, friend. And we like seeing you here. Maxine, getting sent love-ins. Love, love. Blasphemy in process. Right, right? I'm pretty sure this is blasphemy. Hey, Google. Define blasphemy. I think we've blasphemed the action or offense of speaking uh, sacrilegiously about God or sacred things, profane talk. He was detained on charges of blasphemy. Uh, mm, it's not like in the 1980s, like 1980, like yeah, 1910, they were like blaspheming a lot. It seems. I don't think you see. That's the thing. The God I believe in, the God of love, loves what we just did. Right? Loves it. Loves the fact that we would like to reimagine this character that we call Jesus as a capybara. Loves it because that's what love is. It loves to be able to experience new things. My dad would lose his shit. He would lose his mind if he had to see me do what we just did. He'd be like, no, you subscribe to Stable Diffusion? No, I have a Mid Journey paid subscription right now. I'm so excited. Blasphemy in progress. It's still sitting in the car, but that is parked on the train tracks, and we're arguing about the radio station. There are bigger issues. Exactly. The crocodile, the jacket is amazing. These are shared. Melt needs to sell. Dog Dad. I could, I guess. I just, I'm lazy. Yeah. I don't want to. Right, I guess that's what it is for me. Is that I don't want to skinny. I want to be able to make things that I know I want to make and be able to actually sell them. I guess maybe that's the thing, right? Maybe it's not lazy, it's just volume, right? If I knew I would have like 1,000 sales on something that I made, I would probably do it. But the fact that I wouldn't, or at least I don't have the means to right now, makes it less of an incentive. Something I guess I have to work on as well. Yeah, like wooden alligator wear cow skin, 100% though. Incredible. It's amazing melt. How long hair on Jesus is a vibe. Exactly, right. Chilling with his replacements. Oh, I love this so much. I have been melted. My clock wearing capybara. My cloak wearing capybara. Jesus, right? I asked capybara to enter my heart. The obscene. That's obscenely cute. I'm so happy you friends like it as well. I thank you much for all of you joining me in this journey to find the one true being, Jesus Bara. Oh, great. Being great big guinea pig, lend me your strength. Piggy tank toy. I didn't notice the little cross until the second time. Now I'm thinking about a crew. Yeah, yeah, unfortunately. The fact that, Jesus's symbol became the cross, like that's also kind of rude to me, right? And the way that I kind of think of it, I think of the cross as incomplete, obviously, right? And my mind is like, yeah, that's great and all, but it's incomplete, right? You're forgetting the little lines at the end of those little crosses that would make it an infinity. But the fact that you literally got crucified and then people are like, yeah, your symbol is this thing. That sounds kind of bad. Like I like the fish one more. The little fishy. You know the fishy? I like the fishy more for Jesus. I feel like that's a little bit more his style, right? Him making more fish, him being the flesh of God or whatever, letting other people eat him, drink his blood. I'm not gonna go into that, but making having your symbol made the worst part of your entire life. That just sounds a little bit rude. Just like a little bit. Your friends. So someone's blaspheming happening in chat right now. No, favorite religion, Van share. We will spread the good news. Some people at the table very gently and then apologizes. Toasty, they can just pacify him with a scratch and an orange. The true scratches and oranges are offerings. This sounds like a religion I want to get on board with. Like, yes, what am I supposed to do to be saved? You give him some orange, give him some scratches. You're done. You got it though. Okay, can we crucify me if I guess I'm needing the scratches? Oh, I'm sorry. Sinister, the cat and son. For shame, father. Mel's funniest moments. You friends are breaking me. Fishers of men. That's why. Yeah, there we go. There we go. Fishers of men. Because men are like there's like very much in the Bible as well. This narrative of people being sheep, right, and us needing a shepherd. And I in part understand where that's coming from, but also not something I believe in. I believe the people that are sheep are the ones that believe themselves to be sheep as well. Wouldn't it be funny if your dad decided to randomly watch the stream? He would like take my internet away or something. Unironically, he would like legitimately take my internet away. Be like, no internet for you. You're not allowed to do that anymore. Jokes on you, dad. You don't watch my streams. Thank you, friends, for joining me. Who could have known that exposing our souls to Capybara Jesus would have been so interesting? These streams melt my brain. Like, how could we make up these things, right? Like, I'm pretty sure, people of the future are gonna be like, yeah, humanity has officially lost their minds. They have access to, you know, image generation tools, and they're using it to blasphemes. I think Capybara would prefer uh, cruciferous veggies to crucifixion, like bits of broccoli, cauliflower, and Brussels sprouts. I agree. Grace Hand, it's nice seeing you, friend. Don't skip back on chat or the stream. Like we totally didn't do insane things. No, the cows are quieter now. They are. I've been noticing actually. Joyviv, now you've got me thinking that this will be the one time he's really like want to give my son a chance, and then this melted living on the couch after being excommunicated. You can't talk to those people anymore. Yeah, those people of yours are evil. Clearly, worshippers of Satan, trying to. And what my dad would say exactly, I can already see the narrative, is that he would be like, oh, you're trying to steal from God. You're trying to take the magnificence of what Jesus was and you're bastardizing it by making it capybara. I'm like, nah, actually, we're just curious. CB Nature session. Definitely want to check back now. We did some weird things, Grace Hand. We did some weird things. We had some images in stream that I don't think technically no human being has ever seen in existence. Right? Like we got to see something that no human being has ever seen in all of existence, and we got to see it because we decided to. We were like, yeah, let's see, let's see what's gonna happen. Want to check the back now. Melty, we went off the rails today, Brother Bear. I apologize. No apologies necessary. I feel, even though this is not something I'd usually expose my soul to, it's still being affected well. You friends are the energy that I'm experiencing right now. Joel saying, excuse me, do you have time for our Lord and Savior, Capybara Christ? All he asks of you is your devotion, plentiful scratches, nope, dad. It's funny to me. Yes! Yes! Jovan, tuning into the fractal we were sharing earlier today about, exposing ourselves to things that don't serve us. No, dad. It's funny to me, right? I'm not exposing myself to something damaging. It's just funny. You guys should give our church already exists. That enter the promised land. Okay, enough. Enough. This joke. I feel like we're kicking the dead horse. Kicking the dead capybara at this point. Weird things that were my fault, Grace. Mary, I love you, dude. Thank you, friends, for sharing with me. We'll pull a card. We'll see if sacred geometry affirms the insanity that we dove into in stream today. Poor horse, like, weird thing. It's my fault. Oh, I really like that photo. Like it's stuck in my head. It's dead, and then we kicked him literally. We're like, oh yeah, oh yeah. You think you're the? Oh, you think you're all that? How about this? Let us focus upon a new notion. Yeah, purple. No, no purple in this one. I mean, there's like smidges of purple. Gray and orange. There is some grayishness to it, but it's technically yellow. We pulled Swallow the Sun. There's like green little layers kind of coming out of these yellows, very much so. The bluish grayishness. There's like purple little fractals coming out of these swallows. You see that? There's very much purple there. And you can like consider these bits orange as well, right? Tan and orange, damn. Fireheart, yeah. The solar plexus, dude. Swallow the sun. You already have swallowed the sun. You want to hear what it means? Card number 19. Swallow the sun, dreams and visions. The sun is celebrated throughout the world as a giver of life, and in some cultures, as a god. Both the ancient Greeks and Romans worshipped one or more solar deities. And in Hindu literature, the sun is mentioned as the visible form of God that we can see every day. To study for clairvoyance, there's too much noise, Owen. There's too much insanity happening in our brains right now. Aztec, Incan, and Egyptian tradition all held the sun in godly accord. Whatever your spiritual beliefs, it is clear that our sun represents a psychological principle that transcends time and place. The vibrant geometry of the card invites you to explore its symbolism and its ability to illuminate and guide you. Swallow, swoop, and play in the solar portal, encouraging you to see a light-hearted reflection of your dreams and visions. Dreams, whether in sleep or the musings of reverie, will offer clues to your internal process. Visions direct your path and offer a sense of purpose, vitality, and life force. This message, what messages have your dreams offered lately? I've been dreaming about scarcity and competition these days, it seems. What progress are you making towards the realization of your vision? I guess melting away scarcity and competition. Meditate with this card and consider these questions. Do not be hard on yourself if you are not happy with your progress. Realize that when you push too hard, you may actually be resisting the thing you most desire. Relax with your positive intentions as you bring your finest dreams and visions into this reality. Yeah. We did bring positive visions into this reality today, right? Literally. So I feel we're still pretty much in tune. It takes too much concentration to pull off, Joe. It's hard, all right? But we can get better at it. And I feel it's not something that is necessary. You don't need to be clairvoyant. You might even get to have a cool experience not being. I feel I don't consider, I consider myself a visionary, as in visions of the future perpetuated, expressed, can become the future. But I don't know if I'm that good at predicting the future or knowing exactly what the future holds. I really like that sun slash flower. Nah, it just takes a focused intention of the aperture. The sun again jumping. Yeah, the sun. Look at that. Look at that. Isn't that sick of the sun shining down on us, sharing its love, sharing its energy. It's been a broad stroke today. It has. I want to make another work of art before we finish the stream. I'm gonna say imagine a world where freedom won and technology is used to serve all people. Love is a true and it is clear to see. So abstract, and yet we're gonna get a work of art. Bzz, bzz. Let's see what the image generation models are gonna give us today. Technically, it is version 5 of it out right now. Watercolor washout is just as valuable as the most dynamic of geometric symbols. Necessary on a Tuesday, perhaps. Everything is. Everything is necessary for it to be everything. Right? That is the joke. Man, the freedom prompt is very much attached to the states. It's like, yeah, freedom. This work of art that's being generated is pretty weird right now. I don't know if I like it. I actually know that I don't like it, to be completely honest. But I don't completely not like it. Actually, that's a lie. I completely did not like it. I feel it's like so basic. It's so basic. I'm gonna try another one. I'm not happy. I'm not happy with my result. Could be better. Imagine. Let's try again. Imagine a solar punk future where families and communities are supported by technology. Let's try that one instead. This is the little pieces of art we got for what we asked. I actually we got some pride in that little American flag, which I think is pretty cool. All right. And then we have this one, which is so weird. It's like, oh yes, I'm so free holding onto my tablet that has a little flag in it. I'm like, what? And then there's like this one, where it's like a person that has a keyboard attached to their back, and that keyboard has a flag, and this person is holding a tablet, and then it goes war warverfere. Ah, yes, warverfere. And then there is vivede. So basic. No, please, more. Ooh. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm seeing fractals that I like right now. I think this one's gonna be cool. I wonder if these people probably don't exist, and yet I feel something for them. This is us as people in the future, I guess. Yeah, this one is pretty sick. I feel like it's not as technological as I would have hoped for it to be, but still amazing looking. Look at this one. Right, that feels like a photo from somewhere, doesn't it? Like if you still told me, yeah, there's like this cool community that are building solar punk infrastructure for themselves, I'd be like, yeah, that seems right. Here's another one. This little kid's face is getting melted a little bit. People communitying. This one I feel is like so artistic. This kid staring at a solar panel, being like, shit, eating sun and making electrons. And I feel this one is the one that was kind of my favorite until I saw this kid's eyes. Oh goodness, that kid looks like he's not having a good time. Yeah, 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 yeah. These tools are insane. They're so freaking crazy. Again, this one, like that feels like an image from somewhere, right? That came from latent space. You know what that means? It means that within infinite potential, right? Like if you can think of it as pixels, there's only a certain amount of different variations, right? Brightnesses and color values that every pixel can hold. So if it was just like white noise, that is latent space. And then from that white noise, images can arise. And then from latent space, from everything, from infinity, this came out of it. Like I feel deep love for those people. Knowing they're not existing, and yet the energy that they live for still is. My brain is getting melted right now just thinking about what I just did. I was like, wait a second. I did what now? I made people that don't exist, that live in a world that I want to live in. Are you interested in paying for ChatGPT 4, Melty? Not just yet. Not just yet. Apparently, the new paid $20, I think, a month model for ChatGPT is the ChatGPT 4 or GPT 4's engine, but I don't know if I'm using it enough just yet. Like maybe in the future. It's been a broad stroke today. GPT. No, this is Midjourney. Upgraded one, but it's not free. Those are weird. Those are powerful. I am a watercoloring right now. Damn you, autocorrect. Is that code for smoking grass, Shovan? Shovan, doesn't even come as a shock anymore. The wow moments have become more common with some of you. I feel it is a weird paradox, right? Like we get to experience so much synchronicity in these streams that it just feels like our new normal. Oh yeah, or we're gonna feel super united and in sync with other human beings. Yeah, that's just how it is. You know, other people don't get to have that ever in their lives. I freaking wish them. Nah, I'm painting with watercolor, feeling syncy with Jajuju's watercolor comment, of course. We speak without tongues and hugs without touching. We love without knowledge. This has become expected for this circle, right? I assume that whenever the star come with a word, it's being used euphemistically. Those aren't real people. Stop being weird. I know. That's what I'm telling you, Joy V. That's what's weird to me is that I know full well they're not real people. They don't even exist, and yet my mind, my soul, my heart, my awareness of being does not care. It still loves them, even as if they exist. I'm excited about this confirmation, and yes, I expect to see it, and I see it daily. We are becoming synchronized. It's kind of cool when you think about it. Kind of cool? It's insane, dude. It's the coolest thing ever. I feel so blessed to be a part of this process. They're not real people, but but I knew immediately that those kids don't get mac and cheese when they bring grumpy, right? Exactly. You can still form stories, right? I guess that is where we have the attachment. It's because we see something and then we start to tell ourselves a story about that, and then we love the story we tell, right? I was seeing those people and telling myself the story of them living as a community in a solar punk future. Solar punk is instead of going cyberpunk, instead of going diesel punk, instead of going coal punk, we go solar punk. In other words, technologically advanced future, but most of our energy comes from our star, right? Our sun. Our stream today was kind of like, or our sacred geometry card was pulled with that in mind as well. So that is what I love. And I love you, friends, because I know that's what we are. Yow, askapow! I'll see you again soon. Tomorrow, less than 24 hours from now. Children are starving in Aya. You better eat all of your spaghetti. Exactly. Amara lives off mac and cheese, and she's still grumpy, of course. Them kids. I love you, friends. Thank you for spending these moments with me, for exposing your soul to the wackiness that we had in the stream. I'm confused as well, but I know that it was loving. Thank you, friends, for loving me. I'll see you again soon. Cheers. Love you, unicorn farts. Initials will be grumpy. Love you all. Thank you, friends, for spending some time with me. Have a great day, Maxine. Love